Hey guys, welcome back. So just like that, 2023 is coming to a close. I personally am super excited for next year. I've got a lot of books that I am excited about, but before we dive into the new year, I figured that I would reflect a little on 2023. Now, obviously, if you guys are watching this, I'm sure you've seen more than your share of wrap-ups and all of the books that I read and the creme de la creme and the best and the worst and all of that. Well, I wanted to do kind of the same thing, more so that I could kind of go through and remember some of the books that I read, but I'm going to do it just a little bit different, and instead of focusing on all the books that I read, just going to talk about a handful. So as you can see from the title of this video, this is going to be kind of like a list of Cozy Mystery Superlatives for 2023. And basically what that is I've got, I think, about 5 or 6 categories, and I've got cozies slated for that. So you'll see exactly what I'm talking about as soon as we dive in. But as usual, if you haven't read any of these, please let me know. And for funsies, if you've kind of got your own picks for the same superlative category, go ahead and drop those in the comments below, because I would love to see what you have. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the books. Okay, so the first category is most likely to make me laugh, and as you can tell, it's basically a cozy that made me laugh out loud. There are more than a handful of cozies that do that, but specifically the book that I read this year that made me laugh the most is Mexico, Margaritas, and Murders. This particular cozy was actually part of our Teacups and Murders summer book club pick, and it stars these 2 elderly women who go on vacation to Mexico and find themselves in a little bit of trouble while trying to solve a murder. And I absolutely thought it was hilarious. Of course, you've got the sunny backdrop and everything, but what I love is basically whenever you kind of get 2 kind of Thelma and Louise characters together, it's always fun. There's all these one-liners. They are fish out of water, not at all in their element, and so it makes it really fun and comical to follow along in all of their hijinks. Next category, we have book most likely to keep you on the edge of your seat. So this category is really for the cozy mystery that kind of had me most anticipating what was going to happen next. Lots of twists and turns and just kind of like shocking moments, which, having read a lot of cozies, some of them can become a little formulaic. And of course, there are plenty that, have little twists that you don't see coming. However, this particular book, and honestly the series in general, but I thought that this particular book really did a really good job of having high stakes and keeping me guessing as to what's gonna happen, and that book is 'Twas the Knife Before Christmas. Coincidentally, this was also another Teacups and Murder book club pick. This was our winter/holiday pick because it is a holiday themed book, as well as a holiday themed or Christmas themed series in general. Now, I will say, and I said exactly the same thing during our book club discussion, I thought that this particular book was a little bit more edgier than your average cozy, and I say that in the best kind of way. So like if you enjoy thrillers or you're looking for something a little harder hitting, I would definitely recommend this book. Don't get me wrong, still plenty of coziness, still plenty of like holiday festivities going on, but there were some scenes that happen, with the conflict and those kind of gripping scenes that really had me kind of unexpectedly clenching my fingers and biting my nails as to what's going to happen next. And I will just say, this is not at all spoilers, but there was a scene dealing with matchsticks and I was totally creeped out. So that's why this one gets that award. Next category is most likely to make you say "aw," and this is a touching or heartwarming book. Now, I will say, I'll put it out there, this book is technically not a cozy, but I feel like there are a lot of cozy elements that it also checks off that I wanted to include it in this list, because honestly it would be remiss if I didn't, and that book is Dial A for Aunties. Now, honestly, full disclosure, I could have also put this in the comedy category, but I wanted to put this in the heartwarming one because even though it is kind of like a comedic hijinks sort of book, at its core, it's all about family. Obviously, it's in the title with the aunts, but our main character's mom and her aunts, they go through so many crazy things, but really it's all out of the sake of love. And even the character herself, or the main character, she does all of these things or doesn't do all of these things because at the end of the day, she really wants to she really loves her family, and I thought that that was really heartwarming and really touching. I'm already excited to go into the next book, but this one in particular definitely made me feel all of the feels, in addition to laughing out loud. Next up, we have Book Most Likely to Have You Snap a Photo, and this one is going to be the most picturesque, the cozy that's got the most vivid scenes that you can imagine in your head when the author is describing the setting in the book. And for this one, we have Live and Let Pie. This is the 9th book in the Bake Shop Mystery series by Ellie Alexander. And all of her books, of course, do an excellent job of describing Ashland and everything, which of course is a real place. But this book in particular, I think it was just kismet with when I read it, because I read the book and there were so many descriptive scenes of the Winchester Hotel that shortly after, and I'm talking like mere months, I actually got an opportunity to go to Ashland and stay at the Winchester Hotel. And when I tell you, Ellie did an amazing job of describing the hotel beat for beat. Super charming, both on and off the page, that this was such an obvious win for this category because the inn is very charming. Ashland obviously is as well, but the descriptions of the walk up to the hotel and the fireplace and like the charming restaurant that's in-house, all of it totally spot on. I would say put it on your list of destinations to visit if you wanted to do kind of like a real life cozy mystery town, but I loved it, and this book also was very well written. Of course, we have the next category, which is book that is the most tempting. And that means that, the descriptions of the food really make your mouth water. And of course, for this category, I have to give it to Ellie again, the Bake Shop Mystery series, but the book in particular is A Cup of Holiday Fear, which I'm sure you can tell from the title is a kind of Christmas themed book, but those in particular in general I find tend to be the most cozy and even more descriptive because you've got the added element of Christmas time, and that's exactly what this book did. It totally delivered with all of the food and drink descriptions, more so than usual because you've got those really seasonal flavors like peppermint and eggnog and ginger spice, and I'm getting hungry now just thinking about it. But I thought that it did such a great job depicting all of those, especially because I actually read this book this past summer. So I normally don't read Christmassy books outside of the holiday season, but obviously for this one and for a lot of cozies I make exception, and I really wanted it to be Christmas time when reading this book, and so I think that it totally succeeded in tempting me as a reader. Alright, so now we come to our final category, and we're just gonna go ahead and call this one Best Overall. This was really just kind of my favorite cozy mystery that I read all year, not necessarily the best of the year that came out in 2023, because most of these are backlists, but the book that I enjoyed the most, which this was really hard because, we've got the Bake Shop series, which I absolutely love. We've got, kind of capers and hijinks that aren't technically cozies that I also rated 5 stars. So this was a tough pick. But the one that I'd say is my favorite that I'm still thinking about is Slashing Through the Snow. So yes, this is actually part of the other series that I mentioned earlier by Jacqueline Frost, the Christmas Tree Farm mystery series, but it's an amazing series, and I didn't realize when I was listening or reading the first book for our book club that all of the books were going to take place during the holiday, and so I binge read them. because they were just so good. It's got everything you want from a cozy and a holiday read. It's festive. It keeps you at the edge of your seat. It makes you, guess. There's a romance in it that's not done cheesy. There's a strong family bond in that small town community. And I absolutely adore the heroine in the series as well. And yeah, I love that series so much. I'm so glad I'm kind of like rounding out the year with it. I won't say it's the last book that I read because I've read a handful since then, but it is the one that is still top of mind and is still fresh, that I will definitely recommend to anybody wanting to read not only a cozy mystery, but a holiday cozy mystery as well. Okay, so there you have it. Those are my 2023 Cozy Mystery Superlatives. A short little roundup of books that stood out to me throughout the year. Let me know in the description, again, if you have read any of these or if you've got your own cozies that fit these superlatives. I'm eager to know. And yeah, with that, I'm very excited to jump into the next year. I've got, honestly, my TBR is endless, but I do have some cozies that kind of rank a little bit higher than others that I'm excited to get to. Some are new, some are of course backlist, but regardless, I am excited to read them. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Hope you have a happy new year. I will talk to you all later. Happy reading, guys. Bye.